It's a silver anniversary celebration for the Montreal Alouettes, Grey Cup champions 2002.
The Montreal Alouettes of the early 2000s were a CFL dynasty.
And the Montreal Alouettes have come all the way back, and they are the 2009 Grey Cup champions.
3 Grey Cup wins, 8 appearances in an 11-year span.
Back-to-back Grey Cup titles, the first since the Argos in 96 and 97.
But none of this happens without the flap of a butterfly's wings. Or in this case, due to one of the biggest bands on earth.
Montreal, la belle province, has given us so much magic.
The CFL returned to Montreal in the winter of 1996. It was a shotgun marriage.
We're #1 Grey Cup first time ever!
A Grey Cup champion team in Baltimore, Maryland needed a new home. The NFL's Ravens were on the way, so ready or not, Montreal, here came the reborn Alouettes.
I'm committing to putting a first-class product on the field. I'm committing to give the fans here a football team they can be proud of.
The new Alouettes played in the cavernous Olympic Stadium and couldn't muster much of a crowd. In fact, by the end of the 1997 season, the team's finances were beyond bleak. The Alouettes finished that regular season at 13-5, earning them a home playoff game on Sunday, November 2nd. But Sunday, November 2nd, well, Olympic Stadium was already booked for a different event. Everything branches from here. The legendary rock band U2 was to play a show before 80,000 fans in Montreal that day.
Aujourd'hui, Pape Marc est arrivé chez lui.
The team called an audible, back to its roots where it played in the 1950s and 60s, Percival Molson Stadium, on the campus of McGill University. Its seats were worn, its hallways dingy. A tree grew out of a crack in the concrete. But for this one day, it would have to do. When fans rallied to that playoff game, it inspired the team to take the bold step of playing all their games at McGill, beginning the very next season. Suddenly, there was a rush at the season ticket window. The franchise had new life.
Makes a move, open space, Haskins, touchdown, Montreal!
That winter, the Owls signed a free agent quarterback from Hamilton named Anthony Calvillo. A few months later, they used their first pick on a receiver named Ben Cahoon, who would go on to become the CFL's all-time leading pass catcher. 2 years after that, Anwar Stewart is added. He'd go on to win 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards in Montreal. And oh, they were coached by 2 legends in Don Matthews and Mark Trestman. Calvillo would throw for more yards than any quarterback in pro football history, won 3 Most Outstanding Player awards, and earned 3 Grey Cup rings.
Care what league you think about, NFL, CFL, he's one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen.
U2 is now just a footnote on Alouette history. But the club might have been history without the momentum they accidentally created. Instead, you can still hear the playing of Sunday Bloody Sunday before every Alouette home Sunday game. And that is not to be forgotten.